Hey traders, Okanes here, and I'm going to show you one of my strategies that I created when I was a beginner. Wanted something simple to follow using only 3 indicators and using it on the 5-minute time frame. But you can use it on all time frames, basically, no problem. But the goal was to learn the trend, the highs and lows, and try to understand the main direction of the price and getting on the higher lows for call options and the lower highs on the put options. So this strategy is good for practice. It's called homemade strategies, Okanes 15-30 minute strategy. As I said, you can use it on different time frames. The 15-30 minute is for the expiry. It's safer that way. It uses a few indicators, and I'm going to show you how you use it. And once you have learned how to use this strategy, once you start to get comfortable, then you should move on to my homegrown price action strategy, where the focus is more on price action and less on indicators. So this is the next step. And after that, you're gonna move along and move forward towards pure price action trading. But that's the third step. So you first start with the homegrown simple strategy for beginners, and I'm going to walk you through that. So the first thing you want to do, you're going to install all the indicators, and they are explained here. I will put the link to this article in the description. So add the EMAs. I use 250. I used to use the 250 mostly when I was using this strategy, and 533 stochastic. I still love the 533 stochastic. I still use it even with my naked charting. I still use it for confirmation. It's great. You can add an RSI and the FiboPiv. You can just Google it or download it down below. There's a link to everything here, plus the strategy setup and everything, so you don't have to deal with that. So once you set it up, your chart will look like this. RSI is below here and stochastic is here. So what you want to do, bring up, for example, if you want to do short term, maybe you use a 15-minute time frame. And what you want to look for are clear trends, and you can see that by seeing higher lows when price is breaking up and then starts to climb like this. You can see that. So once it starts to climb and then it retraces down, and you use the FiboPivs. You see this is the FiboPiv. It's S3, S2 here, S1, and the pivot is the average price, and then R1, resistance 2, and resistance 3. So these are the lines FiboPiv draws for you. This is good because if you're a beginner, you don't know how to draw support and resistance lines, you can use them for now until you master that. So what you see here is that you have a low here first, above this resistance that got broken. It becomes support, and it's oversold, but you cannot trade it yet because you just have had one higher low. Of course, you could have traded it if you wanted to. If you're more comfortable with price action, you understand support and resistance, you could have traded it. But the next one is safer, because now you see that price is actually really trending. You have this low and then this low, and then price is oversold. So you want to go look at the stochastic. You see it's oversold. It's below 20 or at 20. And RSI is at 25, and in this case even below 25, so it's oversold. You have the higher low, and your price is above the moving average 200, which is this one. So that means the trend is upgoing when your price is above the 200, and if there is a distance, that means the trend is strong. And also your price is above the 50 moving average. And in this case, this was a perfect trade because the price was above the support line. This candle, after this candle finished, price was moving up above the support line, and stochastic was moving up, RSI was moving up. So it's a good location for entering for a half an hour or 15-minute. Half an hour is safer because even if you had entered earlier here, you would have closed your trade up here. So half an hour if you watch the 15-minute time frame, maybe even 45 minutes. It depends on how well market is trending, and these are the things you will learn eventually. So that your next trade was here again after this 15-minute candle closed here, bullish. you can see stochastic and RSI starts to move up, so another half an hour. So that's 2 wins right there. And then the third one after this candle, another half an hour. See, stochastic is pretty close to the 20, but when it starts to move up, you know you got your signal. So you could wait for that and then take a longer expiry, or if you're entering at the support, then you have a better entry than a shorter expiry is usually enough. But the practice with that, you can see there are many signals, some of them are not valid. In this case, for example, you got another good opportunity, again oversold above the EMA 200, above the EMA 50. When it starts to go below the EMA 50, that could mean that the trend might shift, so be careful, don't trade it until you learn how to master price action. So the same thing for put options. But one thing I want to mention is that if you don't understand divergence, if you don't see clear trends, do not trade. For example, in this area, you can see that, okay, you might consider this a lower high, which it was, and of course you could have still gotten away with a half an hour trade here if you entered at this candle, or a 15-minute trade if you entered at the top of this candle, maybe 20 minutes or even half an hour. But then again, if you pay attention to divergence of price, you would see that in this area price is now diverging up, which is a clear indication of a breakout from the downtrend. So you have to be careful. You have to have nice and clear lower highs for put options and higher lows for call options. If you don't have that, this strategy is going to be not as accurate. But if you understand price action, then it's simpler. So let me show you just one of my trades I just took based on naked trading, so that you know that once you're done with this, what your goal is to learn price action, pure price action. So one of my trades was here at this trend line. And if you look at the previous video I shared, you will see that I shared this trend line before all these things happened. So I predicted this last night before market even opened. So price action is the key. Set up your targets, trade thereafter. I also had a trade here at this trend line. So the same trend line, I've had it for a couple of weeks now. One trade here, both in the money. And I can show you that actually. So you can see that this is from the 19. Not the best entry, it went a little bit against me, but I gave it enough time and it ended up in the money. So price action is the key. Set up your targets and trade thereafter. But before you do that, practice with my beginner strategy, 15 minutes time frame. And you can preferably go down to the 5-minute time frame before you enter a trade. So you see that a candle is going in your favor. For example, in this area, when stochastic is going up. On the 5-minute, the EMAs don't matter. But when you see it's going up, that's your signal to enter. So in this case, if this 5-minute closed bullish, then you would go for half an hour expiry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So your expiry would have been up there. And if you look at the 15-minute, you see also RSI and stochastic moved up. So that's how you do it. Look for clear highs and lows in an uptrend, and price should be above the EMA, and look for clear lower highs and lower lows in a downtrend. So you can also try other time frames if you wish. You want to have more longer expiries, less stressful trades. You can do 30-minute or hourly time frame. But the FiboPiv is only good below the 4-hour time frame. You can see it gets smashed together, the lines, so it's only good for hourly and below. So practice on also drawing your own support resistance lines so you can eventually get rid of the indicators. And the first indicator I would get rid of eventually is the RSI. So practice, then get rid of the RSI, then you can even get rid of the moving average 50, and then you should start drawing your own lines, and you get rid of the FiboPiv as well, and start using trend lines like I showed you on the other chart. So that's the point of this strategy, to get you to where I am today. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.